Erin.fisher, and I am your child's art teacher this year during our virtual e-learning phase. I'm hoping that we'll get back into the schools so we can actually have more hands-on, but we're doing a really good job, I think, of the virtual education here at Creighton. As I said, my name's Erin.fisher, and this is my 37th year teaching in Richland District 1. All three of our children have gone to Richland One schools, and all three had part of their education at Creighton Middle School. We now have two adult sons who have bought their own homes. One's married, and the other is a senior at Dreer. So, soon we will have all of our children out. Now, well, that's the hope. And you're hoping that for your own children as well. And some of you might not think that what your child might learn in this class might be as beneficial as some other things. And I do agree. My oldest son, though, is an electrician. He is my most artsy child, won awards in art throughout school. And as an electrician, he can sketch out and communicate with a customer, sketching on paper the schematics of the electricity needs in the house faster than using a computer model to show the same things. And the customers really appreciate that, having that artistic touch that helps them understand what they need to do with their electricity needs. That's one example, and that is how I teach. I teach a lot of common sense, organizational, important things, and especially with technology integration. I love to learn. And so this has been a frustrating, but a great experience too, because I feel like we're doing a better job, me especially, than I did in the spring. First of all, let me show you my classroom. If you will look, I have a still life set up there, and I know you've got, as having a sixth grader, you've seen at home, they're setting up their still lives. And so we're doing the best we can with what's available. I do have a pretty good setup here in my dining room. Whoops. Something just came loose, but there is a camera. My big monitor just became unplugged, and that's a common occurrence. But we do have a lot of options because I really like to learn and I like to make things better. So I've got a large monitor that during a Teams meeting, I drag the pictures of the students over to the large monitor so I can actually watch them. And then I learn to pull different types of images in and out of the screen. So what I'm doing now is I'm going down and reattaching that other monitor so that I can actually show you how it is I do in class. Now I'm going to share my monitor here, and I want to go over, this is something I do every day in class, and I talk to the students about that. I'm going to share the monitor, and usually I share on their screen, the screen where I have the class. That way I can watch them and monitor them. And a lot of times I have a split screen. And you can see it is now not recording me. It's actually recording the other screen over here. And you can see that I've got my IPVO camera that I can move around. And this is how I do direct instruction. And this week we're learning about space techniques. And I've really learned the advantage of sticky notes, because we're working on the foreground right now. And so I'm covering the middle ground and the background because that's where kids typically want to start. So I'm teaching step by step in a very slow, methodical way. Some of your children might not have even had art in elementary school. Some of yours went to Montessori. Some of yours were in another state. Some of yours might have been in another town. So I've got to kind of start over with everybody. I've asked that all of your children have some kind of notebook. It can be this type. And every day we do something in it, and I do it with them. And then I would do this kind of stuff on the board or on the smart board in the regular school application. But this is how we're working here, and it's working pretty well. I can also use this, and I have several times have had to resort to using that as an actual camera for myself in presenting. So we're trying to be as creative as we can be. I'm just upside down there, but it's right when I do it this way. Okay, what I'm going to do next is I'm actually going to pull this is what I do with the students too. I pull in our teams from the laptop. That way I can actually, this is where I started this recording. So this way I can actually take the role on the other laptop. I can have duplicate chats going, and I can chat with students who might have technology issues, who might be in other classes at the time or have extra time in a class or during RTI. Now it is slow, and so what I might end up doing is changing it, which it happens sometimes. I live in North South Carolina, and so sometimes our internet is wonderful, other times it's not. Well, while we're waiting for this to change, look at your own child's teams. If there's a large number, that means your child's had a lot of activity in classes that has not been looked at. If your child has a large number here in the chats, that means that child has chats from teachers that need to be addressed. If there are a large number here in assignments, that means your child has many assignments that are not taken care of. If you are looking in the calendar, you will see that all teachers have their daily class times set up as live class meetings. And in the case of elective teachers, you can see at the bottom here of our calendar, and your children have been invited to this RTI time. Now, Friday is the official elective RTI time. So your children should not be in their core classes during Friday. But it was suggested to us that we provide options for students, and sixth graders can come 4 afternoons a week to get help. If they're behind, they don't understand, they want one-on-one attention. Some of them want it and others need it. But it's, the children can leave and come back, work on something, and they don't have, like if it was at the end of class and they're not quite getting it. If they need review of how to do something, then that's a good time for them to come. So I'm going to take you into one of our sixth grade classes to kind of show you around the class. You can see that these are called the channels, and there's all kinds of channels. This channel might be a very good interest for you. It's frequently asked questions. And another student said to me once, it can be facts and questions. And I said, that's true. Okay, here's an open house video we're going to look at to talk about the different types of things that are going to go on in this course. What's good about these two is even if your child's laptop is having technological issues, you can actually download the Teams app on a smartphone for free and go in on Teams and find things like the code if it's not working. The bottom of this document is hyperlinked, and it has a hyperlink to a technology page that can help with troubleshooting. But this is the page that kids act like they don't know about, and they've been there since the beginning of school. How to use your laptop to take photographs, the rubric for all of the art concepts, how to make folders for organizing your material, how to use Snip to communicate, tickets for excellence, material search at home. All of these, this is where we put things that are informational, not really curriculum related. So let's take a look here. If the child can't open any of these, a lot of times it's not like YouTube where you just click and go. Teams has options. So the 3 dots always show the options that are available in any application. So this is a PowerPoint, and I'm trying to open it, and I think I've clicked maybe too many times. So let me click again. And what it will do is it will give me options. Edit in Teams is an option, but I am trying to teach the children other ways to save their work, because photographs loaded in Classroom Notebook can take 4 to 5 clicks of a mouse and up to 5 minutes to open for each photograph when they're being graded. And that is extremely time consuming. But I've been suggesting to students that, and I will go over this, and I have videos to show the children how to do this. I actually had some students in RTI today who were asking questions about that. So we've kind of looked at this. So let's look. I've got this PowerPoint going, And this PowerPoint has the pages for my other classes too. So I do have accelerated level, and your children could be not recommended for that for next year. Also, we have advanced classes. We also have intermediate classes, and we have beginning. Now, beginning is what it says. It is a diverse group of students with varying experiences. As I said, I've got some from Montessori. I've got some that have taken private art lessons. And I had a student today in RTI who has never had art in his elementary school where he was. And so for him, he's got some skills, but I've got a first or second grade level art skill. And then for some in the same class, I might have a seventh or an eighth grade art skill. So it's very diverse. It is rigor with a safety net. I teach it at a high level, but then I help the students who are at the low level. And sometimes they're catching up a lot, but it's amazing how quickly they'll catch up if they come to RTI. I'll show you where the assessments are, the materials, or whatever a child has. We don't know when real school will start again or when hybrid will start, but just basic crayons, colored pencils, and maybe some markers from the Dollar Tree or Dollar General, some of my favorite places, would be sufficient if you're out and about and could get those things. Now, there'll be a variety of units. Right now, we're finishing up the basics. Then we're moving on to realism. That's where our still life is going to come in. And realism, at this point, some students struggle with that. But then you'll be amazed at how when they start learning how to draw forms, their nature that they want to draw is even better. So it is sequential. We might not be able to do sets. It depends on if we start back into hybrid model, but routinely I work with the drama teacher in making sets and props for the drama presentations, and we'll just have to see how that goes. We also do a pretty extensive Potter unit. It won't be a pinch pot. It will be state fair, art show ready, and display ready for in your home. So that's some of the basic things that we'll be doing in school, in our class. Now, what I want to do is open Teams again and go back and show you. So I'm going to go back and open Teams since I'm sharing here. And this happens, we're kind of back and forth in things. So let me close this. So I can see it won't, okay, I'll close this. And, often in class, it's kind of like this. Not every time, but we can definitely have a lot of things going on at one time. This is what I want to show you. My expectation for the first unit was that your child learn how to make folders and how to have folders where they can store work. So there's a video on that. So another way would be to go in through the files, which of course a lot of adults use this, and it shows you, your quick access, the recent documents that you have handled. And I have talked to the children about putting where pictures go. When they photograph using the laptop, pictures usually are defaulted. They go into this folder. Sometimes your child's computer might not be working well because their downloads are full. I had a sixth grader one year, had 3,000 downloads. No wonder the computer was not working. After we deleted all the downloads, which unfortunately were mostly pictures and games, the computer worked much better. And then of course they could save in documents. So I have shown your children how to make these folders and how to save into those folders. Now the reason that is important, and I'm just kind of flicking my mouse here over to my other screen, is because when they are turning in assignments, some teachers are using Classroom Notebook. And Classroom Notebook, the assignments never really leave the notebook. And so they are edited there, and I'm just slowly trying to get back here over to Teams. They are edited there. Students don't even really have to put their names on them. They're easy to upload. But as I said, and for many of your children, see the class notebook is there. And what Miss Elliott, the other art teacher, and I found was that to try to look at photographs, though, which is really the only way that we can judge work, in this virtual time. It was too many clicks for us. It would take 10 to 12 minutes just to grade one student's artwork. And so we've come up with a good plan for this. So let's look at Unit 1. Unit 1 is about the elements of art, and most of our work, the basics, have been going on here. So if your child doesn't know where to find something, it's usually best to go to the channel that makes the most sense. For instance, elements of art makes the most sense right now. And I appreciate you watching this video. It does take a few minutes. A lot of this is brand new if you've never had a child in middle school art. Well, you can see in the elements of art that they've got a quizzes they can study for the test we're having tomorrow and an announcement that I sent out again. You can see as you move up the channel are assignments. There's also photographs, so you can see here that image, all right? There are PDFs of photographs of my own notes. So students can go and check their notes to make sure they didn't miss anything. Then we've got assignments. So let's take a look at an assignment. And so when you're going into an assignment, it looks different for the teacher's perspective. But I do want to show you something here as a parent of a sixth grader who we have this trouble with seventh and eighth graders too. But let's look at this. All right, so if we're looking at it from a student's point of view, I told them at the beginning it would have lots of instructions because they haven't done this much. Like for instance, assignment 1 is their first assignment where and it's a returned assignment, where they had to upload sketches they had done of objects. But the main goal here was for them to learn the process that I'm getting ready to show you. Submit notes. Now it says everybody's is returned, but unfortunately, some have been returned with zeros. But I don't want you to feel bad if your child had a 0. But what I want you to see is, see these green checks here? Let's look. Even if they had a 0, your child sees a green check. If it was a 70, a check, a 0 checked. So your children need to learn to go back into assignments, and check work that is returned. Because what they have to do is they have to open, okay, and I'm sharing over here, they have to open all of their assignments to see the comments that a teacher might have put, feedback that a teacher might have put. So it's very important that you as a parent know that a child can go and click turn in on every assignment, and it appears that every assignment's been turned in, but they're not. That's really a glitch. It's a programming problem that I don't like, most teachers don't like, because it gives the false communication that the assignment is actually there. I hope that this has given you a lot of information that you can use. Please feel free to email with concerns. But you notice when we looked at the channels that I am very thorough, have lots of information in numerous places, and there's no reason, if your child is in class and is paying attention, there's no reason your child should not know what to do. But if there is confusion, please tell them to come to RTI when they can, and you are welcome to email as needed. Thank you, and I hope this has been informative, and I hope it hasn't been too long, and I hope you went to the end. Bye. Thank you.